Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
Do you think I'm more of a man than you are? It seems that you didn't understand what I was trying to convey. You see, it's not easy for you to die, but I won't let you get off with a quick death either. If you don't tell me what I want to know, I'll make it slow and painful. Jared said as though he was joking, making the others shudder. Jared Johnston, you should just die, the tattooed man retorted. I won't tell you anything no matter how much you torture me. Don't speak too soon now. Jared looked at him playfully. So let's see. Can you still move your arm? The tattooed man's face were clenched and twisted, and his arm was trembling as it dangled limply at his side. Jared Johnston, give me the antidote. Quick. Henry's henchman could not bear it anymore, as the excruciating pain in his arm had consigned him to a life even worse than death. Seeing this, Jared glanced at Claus with a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. I was right, Jared said. He didn't last past 15 minutes at all. Then, he looked at the tattooed man with a piercing stare. The antidote is here, but you must first provide me with the answer to my question. So tell me, who sent you to assassinate Mr. Johnston Sr.? I have no idea. What a lame excuse, Jared glanced at Claus. Give him some more. Claus took a bottle of alcohol out and walked up to the man with the pentagram tattoo. The entire bottle of alcohol hovered in front of him, and though he had said that he was not afraid, he was, in truth, shaking with fear, as he knew he would soon have a taste of death. If you speak now, you can still survive, but if you drag on, I'm afraid it'll be too late for your arm, Claus reminded. You're just trying to scare me with that bottle of alcohol. At this point, you can just take a knife and plunge it through my chest instead, the tattooed man said, maintaining his stubbornness. All right then. Here, have a drink, Claus said, and proceeded to pour the contents onto the man's decaying arm. As soon as the alcohol made contact with the wound, the searing pain sent him tumbling off onto the ground, and his entire body began to writhe. Jared watched as the man thrashed and convulsed on the ground for a while, after which he said, You do these things just for money. Do you think that money would do you any good once you're dead, and do you really think that the people you are serving are worth your sacrifices? As he continued convulsing, he stared at Jared, still refusing to speak up. Seeing this, Jared stepped forward and squatted in front of him, whereupon he produced a lighter and played with it. The moment the tattooed man saw it, he knew what Jared was going to do next. But just when Jared was about to flick the lighter on, he stopped. No, I'll tell you. I'll speak up. The tattooed man yelled, having been tortured by Jared to such an extent that he no longer wanted him or anyone else to experience this any longer. The money I have earned has not been spent. Is Henry Johnston not worth working for anymore? Help him up. Jared placed the lighter away and sat back on his chair. Jared's men proceeded to help him up. At this juncture, he was ready to talk, as looked at Jared with fear. He was shaking in fear, and his arm was limp. Who ordered you to do these things? Jared shot him a dagger of a stare. Can you give me the antidote first? He said, knowing that he had to spill anyway, but he also wanted to save his arm. The antidote will be given to you, but it's too late for that arm. If you don't want to lose the other one, just tell me the truth. No tricks or you'll lose both of your legs. Jared eyed him as the air became chilly around him. I'll tell you everything I know, the tattooed man caved in. Give him the antidote. Jared looked at Claus. Soon after, Claus administered the antidote, which stopped the decay from spreading to the rest of the man's arm, putting an end to the agony, or so it seemed. Then, the tattooed man looked at Jared with resentment in his eyes. That person, it won't ever cross your mind. Don't beat around the bush, Claus urged. Tell us who hired you. Henry Johnston. The tattooed man looked at Jared's expression the moment he had said it. Upon hearing the name, Claus narrowed his eyes at Jared, whose expression remained blank. Aren't you surprised? It's your uncle who ordered me to poison your grandfather. This news will be very viral, he said, and erupted into a gale of maniacal laughter. Do you know what you're talking about? Jared asked. Let me tell you that you will not survive, slandering Henry Johnston. Although Jared hated Henry, he did not wish to believe that Henry would go so far as to murder his family members. "I'm telling you the truth," the tattooed man continued. "Believe it or not, just a few days ago I met him in a restaurant. He ordered me to find an opportunity to have another go at the old man and said that this time, he would make that old man sleep forever. These are all his words." Now that it had been said, he no longer had anything to hide. The fate of Henry Johnston was thus left in the hands of God. Jared, having received the photos a few days ago, then showed them to the man with the pentagram tattoo. "Is this the person? Turns out that you have been eyeing us for a long time. It seems that you're destined to find it. What other plans does he have in mind?" Jared continued to ask. "That's all I know. If he had anything else in mind, he sure as hell did not inform me." The tattooed man looked at Jared with a frown. "I've told you everything I know. Can you let me go now? I'll release you, but if you ever hurt my family members again, I'll make suffer in ways you can't even begin to imagine." Jared roared, and after which he ordered Claus to let the man go. After the man with the pentagram tattoo had left, Claus turned to Jared with his brows raised. "Mr. Johnston, I'm worried that this fellow will continue to run amok, as you've decided to let him loose." "Don't worry, he will be going to Henry Johnston," Jared said, and proceeded to whisper into Claus' ear. After that, Claus brought his men along and left the room at once. Henry Johnston was working in his office when he suddenly received a call from a man with the pentagram tattoo. "It's done. Transfer the money to me. I'm off to the countryside. I feel that someone has been tailing me," the tattooed man lied. "But the old man hasn't been dealt with just yet. There is no one else for the job other than you now," Henry Johnston argued as a sense of uneasiness flooded him. "I still have a few men positioned near the hospital," the tattooed man said. "I've already told them everything they need to know. Tonight, they will lure the security detail guarding the old man away. When that has been done, you can take the opportunity to sneak in." Before leaving, he would do Henry Johnston one last favor. As he had paid a huge price for what he had done, he would leave a huge prize for Henry. "Is it plausible?" Henry asked. "I've never done anything like this before." "Just relax," the tattooed man replied. "It is very simple. If you can't do it, get your son to do it. Even if something happens, you can get away by saying that you're there to protect that old man. This is your last chance. Call me only once you have wired me the money. I can only wire you half the money. I will give you the rest after I am done with this whole shebang." Henry Johnston said, afraid that his efforts would go to waste if he were to transfer him all the money at once. "I've got this, don't you worry. Send the money over now," the tattooed man said before he hurriedly ended the call. Henry was all right before he received this abrupt call, which had left him anxious. However, he would have no choice but to transfer the money to them, as he did not want those degenerates to ruin his plan over a bit of cash. After he had wired them the sum, he stood by the floor-to-ceiling window and looked outside as he thought, "What should I do?" Time passed, and when he checked his watch, he realized that it was already 7 p.m. It was then that Henry called Castor and Murphy over. "Dad, what happened this time?" Castor looked at Henry as there were always serious developments going on whenever he visited his office. "We have to act tonight." Henry waved at them, signaling for them to come closer to him. "Both of you will do it together. One of you will be on the lookout and the other will enter the ward and do the deed." Henry stared at them with a vicious look on his face. "Dad, why don't you get that person to do it? We've never done anything like this before." Castor protested, slightly fearful. "That person is being tracked now, so he won't be able to do anything for us, but his people will start a commotion at the hospital, so when that happens, I need the both of you to sneak in and deal with your grandpa," Henry said. "Get out of there as soon as you can and don't let anyone spot you." "Dad, can you hire a professional to do this?" "Shut it. This is the best way to minimize the involvement of others. If you succeed in this mission, all of the luxury and wealth will be yours," Henry said, continuing to indoctrinate them. "Fine, we'll have to really make this work for our future." Castor gave himself a push. "What if Grandpa recognizes us?" Murphy looked at Castor anxiously. We'll wear face masks, Castor answered. If Grandpa sees us, we'll just tell him that we caught a cold. But the surveillance cameras in the hallways will be capturing footages of us, won't it? What should we do about that, Dad? Castor looked at Henry with his forehead creased. Don't worry about it. Someone will take care of that for you. Your only task is to just send your grandpa into a coma. Henry said, and gave them a stare void of all humanity. Okay. Castor uttered. Go, Henry said. I'll be waiting for the good news. After Castor and Murphy had left, Henry began pacing back and forth in his office. There was a voice in his head, telling him that it was not the right thing to do. Henry was extremely antsy, and so he went back home. Then, he got his wife to pack her bags and prepared her to leave at a moment's notice. Twilight descended upon them as a group of men plotted their scheme outside the hospital in a city spruced up with lights. Once they were done with their preparations, they left to commence their operation. It was then that one of the men armed with a bomb barged into the level where Mr. Johnston Sr. was at, prompting the security detail who were guarding his room to clear the scene the instant they heard the alarm. As this occurred, the surveillance cameras in his room were hacked. Shortly after, two nervous figures appeared in the hallway, after which they rushed into Mr. Johnston Sr.'s ward. Castor mumbled as he looked at Mr. Johnston Sr., who was fast asleep in his bed. I'm so sorry, Grandpa. We have no choice but to do this. Then he looked at Murphy and said, Why are you just standing there? Do it. Murphy pulled a syringe out with his hands trembling, and jammed the tip into an 4 bag. Then, the duo rushed out without checking twice. However, they retreated in fear as soon as they had reached the door, as someone had walked in. What are you doing here? Jared appeared as he stared them down. It seemed like Jared had already identified them, so Castor fumbled, We're here to see Grandpa, but he's already asleep, so we're heading back now. He immediately tried to leave right after he had completed his sentence. Wait a second, Jared said, startling the duo so much that their knees almost buckled. What's up? Castor said, trying to sound as calm as he could. Why are you in face masks at night? Jared asked, sizing them up. We caught a cold, and we didn't want to pass it to Grandpa, Murphy answered. You're both ill? Jared asked. Yeah. They both said, not daring to look at Jared as they were afraid that he would notice something. There was a terrorist attack at the stairway moments ago, Jared pointed out. How did you get in? Well, nothing really happened when we were coming in, Castor lied. Jared then walked up to Mr. Johnston Sr.'s bed. Why is the surveillance camera not working? What did you do to Grandpa? Jared turned and glared at them at once, petrifying them as they thought, **T. Jared has found out. Then, they slowly turned around and swallowed, as the both of them were on the verge of a panic attack. The bodyguard grabbed their wrists in an instant, and the syringe fell out from Murphy's grasp, its clinking echoing throughout the room. Claus picked it up and looked at it. Have a look at this, Mr. Johnston. Jared snatched it from Claus and inspected it, before glaring at them. Why did you do this? Who told you to do this? Both Castor and Murphy dropped to their knees in fear and begged, We didn't plan this. Our dad ordered us to do this. Ha, they're absolute dinguses, Jared scoffed, bringing their mission to an end. Why is Henry doing this? Jared continued interrogating them. He wants to be the chairman of the company, and he didn't want Grandpa to displace him after he has woken up. Murphy spilled as he was awash in fear, while Castor kept nudging him to shut him up. Jared smashed a mug in a rage, which frightened them to the point that they huddled together. He actually did this to his family for a mere position in the company. People like him don't even deserve to live. Jared yelled, his eyes burning with rage. Please check on Grandpa. If you don't do anything now, we might run out of time. Castor reminded Jared as he still had a sliver of humanity left in him. Jared glanced over at his grandfather. You can get up now. Upon hearing that, the person who seemed to be Mr. Johnston Sr. rose and got down from the bed, before he walked up and stood next to Jared. Grandpa. How? Castor exclaimed in horror as he pointed at the man next to Jared. Take your mask off, please, Jared ordered. The bodyguard smiled as he took his mask off before Castor and Murphy's eyes. You're not Grandpa? They cried in unison. Obviously. If he was, you would both be dead by now. Jared stared at them, his face cold and his tone icy. Where's Grandpa? Castor asked. Jared rolled his eyes and ordered, Bring Mr. Johnston Sr. back in, please. Soon after, a bunch of men returned pushing Mr. Johnston Sr. into the room, whereupon they hefted him back onto the sickbed. He had heard everything. Kneeling on the floor were Castor and Murphy, who were looking at Mr. Johnston Sr. in fear as one of them cried, We've messed up and we're sorry, Grandpa. Yeah, we've learned that we're at fault and we're truly sorry for that. The duo crawled to his bed as they begged for forgiveness. Where's Henry? Bring him over. I wish to see him. A furious Mr. Johnston Sr. ordered. Calm down, Grandpa. Jared looked at Mr. Johnston Sr. I'll handle this. It's okay, I'll settle this myself, Maximilian said. Bring Henry over at once. Where's your father? Jared asked. He's probably waiting for us at home, Castor said. Jared looked at Claus, who immediately brought his men along with him as they made for Henry's house. However, Henry had arrived at the hospital in a hurry at around the same time. As soon as he reached the lobby, he saw Claus walking toward him with a group of men at his flank. Startled, he hid and phoned Castor in a flash. Back in Mr. Johnston Sr.'s ward, Castor's phone rang. He then turned to look at his grandfather as he did not know if he should answer the call. Put him on speaker, Jared ordered. Castor answered, and Henry's voice was instantly heard from the other end of the call. How did it go? It went perfectly according to plan. Castor's fumbled, his voice trembling. Henry registered the shuddering in his son's voice and hung up at once. Seeing this, Castor stared at the phone before turning to Jared in helpless fashion. Hiding in a corner, Henry immediately called his wife and said, Head to the airport right now, and do it as fast as you can. A group of men are heading to our house. Okay, his wife replied. After ending the call, Henry looked out for any sign of Jared's men before sneaking back to his car to make his way to the airport. In the airport, Henry met his wife at the spot that they agreed on and in no time, proceeded to flee to another country through the latest flight available. When Claus had arrived at Henry's house with his men, he saw that the entire place was pitch black. He knocked on the door, but no one answered. Open the door. Bam! It was then that they smashed the door open, and Claus barged in with the men. Mr. Johnston? He yelled, but no one responded, even after they called out repeatedly. Then, Claus shot his men a look and they began their search upstairs. No one's here, one of them said. Claus immediately reported this to Jared, saying, Mr. Johnston, no one is here. If they're not at home, head to the airport right now. Jared ordered, upon coming up with the thought that they must have gone there. Yes, sir, Claus affirmed. Quick! Head to the airport. Claus ordered, and took his men to the airport at breakneck speed. But once they had reached the airport, the plane that Henry was in had already taken off. Claus kept searching for Henry in the airport until he saw the very same plane taking wing outside of the window. Seeing this, he immediately asked a staff, Please check if there's a Henry Johnston in the flight that just took off. Sorry, we don't have the right to disclose our passengers' information, the staff said. Claus proceeded to call the manager of the airport on the spot, and the staff received a call right after Claus had hung up. All right, got it, the staff said. Sir, we'll check our list of names for you now. The staff looked at Claus respectfully. Found it, sir. There is indeed a man named Henry Johnston on that flight. His ID number is. Where is that flight headed to? Claus interrupted. Roca Este. Got it, thank you. Then, Claus quickly reported back to Jared upon confirming everything. Okay, you can come back now, Jared said, before turning to Maximilian. Grandpa, Uncle Henry has fled the country. What? Mr. Johnston Sr. looked at Jared in complete shock. It seems that he was already prepared, Jared murmured. That insolent brat. Mr. Johnston Sr. yelled. Get him back here, even if he is in hell right now. Then, he burst into a fit of coughs. "Don't get so riled up, Grandpa. Your health is our priority. Let us take care of this." Jared comforted him. "Get the doctor and bring these two downstairs," Jared proceeded to order. "Then, get someone to keep an eye on that tattooed lackey of his and see if Henry contacts him." "Yes, sir," his security detail said. "You should lie down." Jared laid Mr. Johnston Sr. down as he did not want his grandfather's condition to worsen. "Mr. Johnston, what should we do with the terrorist?" one of his men asked. "Just do whatever is necessary," he said. "Yes, boss," his bodyguard replied. After a minute or two, the doctor strode in. "What's wrong with Mr. Johnston Sr., Mr. Johnston?" He was slightly agitated. "Please check on him," Jared explained to the doctor as he looked at him. "All right," the physician said, and proceeded to perform his checkup. After a round of examination, the doctor looked at Jared and said, "He is fine, but his blood pressure has slightly increased. Please don't get him worked up again." "Understood." Jared nodded. The next day, Nicole bade Mrs. Wallace Sr. and Tia farewell before taking Kelly to the airport. When they were in the waiting lounge, Nicole gazed off at a plane that just took off and lamented, "I was planning to go for a vacation, but I don't think it's possible anymore." "Miss Riddle, just go wherever you wish. We're going abroad, so it's pretty much the same as going for a vacation, no?" Kelly beamed, as she was elated at being able to travel abroad with Nicole. "I wanted to go somewhere chill and laid back to relax, and with you here it's starting to feel more like a vacation now, but it's just that." Nicole suddenly thought of Jared. It'd be perfect if he was here. "It's just that what?" Kelly looked at Nicole with her head tilted. "You're here, Nicole." Harvey greeted, as he was close to searching entire airport to look for Nicole and Kelly. "Didn't I tell you to wait at A2? Nicole looked at him, resigned. "Did you? I was in a rush, so I didn't get the message." Harvey sat down next to Nicole. "Anyway, how much longer do we have to wait before we board?" "Probably around 20 minutes, Kelly answered him. "By the way, I haven't introduced the both of you to one another, right?" Nicole said, and began introducing them to each other. "This is Kelly, my assistant, and Kelly, this is Harvey Ellison. You've probably heard of him." "Of course, he's pretty famous. I've always wanted to meet him." Kelly's cheeks flushed as she looked at Harvey. Nicole caught it and teased her. "Why are you blushing, Kelly? Do you have a crush on Harvey?" "Come on, don't make fun of me, Miss Riddle." Kelly quickly shifted in her seat, not wanting to look at Harvey anymore. Harvey's lips twitched. He did not like Nicole joking about this. "Why isn't Mr. Johnson here to send you off?" Harvey arched his brows and looked at Nicole. Nicole rolled her eyes at him. "Do you miss him or something? If that's the case, don't come with me." No, you've misheard." Harvey quickly denied, knowing that if he were to piss Nicole off trying to be playful, he would be digging his own grave. "Miss Riddle, we should board the flight now." Kelly, who was keeping watch of the time, reminded Nicole. "Let's go." The trio then made their way to the entrance. Jared sent a text message to Nicole but got no reply, so he figured that Nicole was already on the plane. "I would have sent her off if Grandpa isn't in the hospital." Now, all Jared could do was think about how much he missed her in his office. On the plane, Nicole proceeded to put on her headphones to watch a movie, as she had nothing better to do. She had chosen to spend her time on a comedy film. Harvey, who was sitting next to Nicole, took a glance at the movie that she was watching. "I've watched this before. Something funny is going to happen. Wait for it." Nicole rolled her eyes at him and continued watching. "Something is going to appear. Right here. Ha ha ha." Harvey burst out laughing, but Nicole did not find anything funny at all. "Why aren't you laughing?" Harvey asked Nicole. "I hate spoilers." Nicole looked at Harvey, evidently annoyed. Harvey's smile instantly vanished from his face as he shifted in his seat and turned his own screen on. Displeased, Nicole switched her screen off. Seeing this, Harvey began sneaking glances at her, not wanting to speak to her as he was afraid that he would add fuel to the fire. Throughout the journey, Harvey did not really pay attention to the movie he was watching as he was busy thinking about Nicole. However, Nicole kept her eyes closed until they landed. "It's time to get off the plane, Nicole." Harvey patted her gently. She gradually opened her eyes. "Wow, that's fast, wasn't it? Let's go then." Nicole then stretched and got ready to get off the plane. Ike had been waiting for some time at the area where he was supposed to pick her up, and when he saw Nicole, he quickly waved at her. Ike had a tall build, so it was rather easy to spot him in the crowd. Nicole, who had noticed him from afar, proceeded to wave back at him. Then, the trio approached him. "You're finally here." Ike greeted Nicole with a smile. "I guess you must be tired." "I'm okay. I've just been sleeping," Nicole greeted him with a smile too. "Hi, Harvey." Ike shook hands with Harvey. "You're here too?" "Yeah, how are you?" Harvey asked politely. "I'm great," Ike replied, after which he turned to Kelly. "And this is?" "She's my assistant, Kelly," Nicole introduced. "Nice to meet you." Ike nodded at Kelly. "Nice to meet you too," Kelly responded in kind. "Let's go." Ike extended his arm and gestured to them, taking them to their vehicle. Ike thought that Nicole was coming alone, so he personally drove over to pick her up, as he wanted to have a chat with her. He did not expect her to bring along 2 other guests, who had ruined his plan. However, there were enough seats for all of them, and so, none of them had to get a cab. Once they were in, Harvey and Ike took the front seats, while the ladies, Nicole and Kelly, sat at the back. Ike could only look at Nicole from the rear view mirror. "Nicole, we've been stuck on the same problem for a few days now. Thank God you're here. I believe you'll be able to help us out." "What could have been difficult enough to cause an expert like you to be at his wit's end, I wonder?" Nicole asked, as she was a little surprised at what he had said. "The issue is, we can't seem to find common ground and arrive to some understanding," Ike said. "Some of them wanted to implement solution A while some wanted solution B. That's why there have been some conflicts going on between the teams during the discussion. Anyway, I don't even want to go there these days." Ike finished, looking defeated. "You're overreacting. If there's a problem, go ahead and solve it. Just use whichever solution is better. It's understandable that conflicts would arise from time to time." Nicole comforted him. "If everyone shared your pragmatic approach, there wouldn't be any problems." Ike waved, still feeling defeated. Harvey and Kelly did not really understand what they were saying, so they did not know how to join the conversation. They just maintained their silence, with the atmosphere in the car gradually becoming quieter with each passing second. Then, after the car had pulled up in front of the hotel, Ike took a look and said, "I think this is your hotel. Thanks for picking us up from the airport. We'll be heading up now, so I'll be seeing you at the lab tomorrow," Nicole thanked Ike. "Don't mention it. Go and catch some rest. I'll see you tomorrow." Ike smiled at them, got into the car, and left. "Let's head inside." Nicole looked at Harvey and walked into the hotel. A porter went over to them and helped them with their luggage as Nicole walked up to the concierge and presented them her ID. Then, a staff guided them to the room that they had booked. "Miss Riddle, this is your room." The staff looked at Nicole and gestured. "Bye, I am going in now." Nicole opened her door and walked in. "This is your room, Mr. Ellison." "Thank you." Harvey grinned with satisfaction as his room was right next to Nicole's. "And this is your room, Miss Henderson." "Thank you." Kelly opened her door and entered her room. Their rooms were next to each other, so Harvey quickly unpacked his things and left his room to knock on Nicole's door. Nicole walked up to her door when she heard someone knocking. "Who's there?" "Me." Harvey's voice rang from the other side of the door. Nicole opened her door and marched right back to her room, giving Harvey a view of her back, and so, he pouted and closed the door. "What are you doing, Nicole?" Harvey asked as he walked in. "Unpacking, obviously. Are you done unpacking already?" Nicole continued to arrange her belongings without looking at him. "I don't have much to unpack." "Nicole, there are entertainment facilities in one of the floors above us. Do you want to check it out together?" Harvey invited Nicole, hoping that Nicole would join him. Entertainment? Really? Nicole turned to him with a brow raised and her head tilted. Probably. I saw a recommendation at the ground floor lobby just now. Harvey looked to the side and saw a paper sitting on the table, and proceeded to pick it up. Look. They really do have it. It is written here. Nicole stopped and stood next to him as she perused the contents written on the paper. It looks promising. I think I'll check it out after I'm done. Hurry up then. I'll wait for you on the couch. Harvey took the flyer and walked up to the couch. Tell Kelly that she is coming with us too, Nicole said. Ha. Harvey uttered, never having thought of bringing Kelly along. What do you mean by ha? Go. Nicole urged him. Okay. Harvey's smile faded. What do I tell Kelly to make her tell us that she doesn't want to join us? He wondered. He walked to the door slowly as he pondered, but before he realized it, he was already at Kelly's door. I'm here already. Their rooms were not far from each other's anyway, so Harvey knocked on Kelly's door, and once it opened, she appeared at the doorway. What brought you here, Harvey? Are you busy with something? Harvey asked. I'm unpacking. Would you like to come in? Kelly asked, and made way for Harvey. Harvey hesitated as he thought, Nicole would definitely be suspicious if I returned to her too soon, right? Thus, he walked in. Do you want anything to drink? Kelly asked. It's okay, I'm just looking around, Harvey replied. What are you going to do after you're done? Harvey asked. I'll probably meet up with Miss Riddle. Kelly sat next to Harvey and looked at him. I wonder if she has anything for me to do. When he heard that she was going to look for Nicole, his plan was ruined. All he could do now was invite Kelly. Well, I've heard that there's an entertainment lounge upstairs. Would you like to check it out together? Harvey looked into her eyes and asked. Kelly was suddenly flustered as she thought, is Harvey asking me out? Harvey seemed to know what she was thinking, and so he quickly added, Nicole and I are planning to head over there later. So, I came over to ask you if you'd like to join us. He breathed a sigh of relief as he waited for her answer. Kelly immediately knew that she had misunderstood, so she calmed herself down and looked at him, embarrassed. Okay. I'm fine with anything. All right, you can continue unpacking now, he said. Let's gather in Nicole's room once you're done. See you there. Harvey left right after he was done passing her Nicole's message. Sure. Kelly uttered as she watched him leave. After he closed the door, Kelly mumbled to herself, what were you thinking? Why would Harvey even be interested in you? You almost made a fool out of yourself. Outside her room, Harvey looked at Kelly's door and figured that he should be more vigilant when speaking to Kelly. When he returned to Nicole's room, Nicole asked, what did she say? She's unpacking too, so she'll come over when she's done. I'll head back for now. When you're about to leave, please remember to holler me, Harvey said, and went back to his room. All right, Nicole said. On the other end, Jared was still in his office, checking his phone from time to time. He was afraid that he would miss her texts, but whenever he checked his phone for messages from Nicole, there would be none at all. This woman sure knows how to keep a grudge. I'll see how long she can keep up with this charade. Jared toughened up and did away with the questions that were plaguing him. But after having completed his work, Jared picked his phone up and called Nicole anyway. Beep beep. Though the call was connected, no one was there to answer it. This angered Jared, who was about to hang up, until he heard Nicole's voice muttering a soft, hello. Jared drew a deep breath, and he suddenly did not know how to continue the conversation. Did you land safely? Of course, who else are you even talking to? Nicole answered. What's up with you? He asked. Nicole, let's look over there. Harvey said, his voice reaching Jared's ears from the speaker. Okay, she replied to Harvey. Can you speak up? Nicole asked Jared as she walked. Is Harvey with you? Jared asked sharply. Yeah, he came with me. Nicole did not hide anything from Jared as she was the one who brought Harvey here. Why didn't you tell me that he was traveling with you? Jared asked. Do you really need to know? Nicole asked. It is that important to you? Of course it is. As long as it has anything to do with you, I have the need to know. Jared did not notice what he had said, registering it only after he had blurted it out. Nicole halted in her tracks and kept mum. The call went silent, and after some time Jared said, "Well, you're safe now and that's all that matters. Take care." Then, he hung up. Nicole placed her phone down slowly and stood still as she had suddenly lost her interest in the entertainment facilities. After a while, Harvey realized that she was no longer following them, prompting him to turn around and say, "Why are you standing there? Let's go." Nicole looked at him. "I suddenly remembered that I have something I need to do. You should go ahead, I'll catch up with you later." Without waiting for Harvey to respond, Nicole left the area, leaving him stupefied as he watched her leave. She became an entirely different person after she answered the call. Did something happen? "Kelly, has anything happened before you came here with Nicole?" Harvey looked at Kelly and asked. Kelly thought about it as she furrowed her brows, before responding, "No, I don't think anything happened today. Miss Riddle was doing just fine before we came here, and I didn't receive any urgent messages either." "That's weird." Harvey thought about it as he was confused. What happened to her? "Harvey, Miss Riddle said that she will catch up with us later. Perhaps she remembered that there was something that she had forgotten to do," Kelly said, surmising that this was the only explanation. "Maybe," Harvey replied, although he felt that something else was going on. "Let's play some games over there while we wait for her." Harvey pointed. "Sure." Kelly beamed, as any chance to be alone with Harvey was a good thing for her. Nicole took the elevator back to the room and closed her door. She sat down by the window as Jared's words raced across her mind in continuous fashion. She looked at the picture that she had taken with Jared on the phone as a smile unconsciously crossed her face. What's wrong with me? Why am I smiling at a picture? He was the one who was being all intimate with Fiorella, so how could I forgive him just because of that one line? I can't do this. Nicole calmed down and laid down on her bed, facing the ceiling as she stared into space. When she picked her phone up and opened Jared's chat log, she suddenly wondered if she should give Jared a call. All of a sudden, Jared's request for a video call popped up on her screen. Nicole's heart skipped a beat, and after a few seconds of hesitation, she clicked on the green button. Their faces were immediately on full display. Jared was leaning against a chair as he watched Nicole on the screen. "Are you lying on a bed?" he asked with a brow raised. "Yeah," she replied. "Weren't you with Harvey moments ago? Are you?" Jared's eyes widened in an instant as he thought, "Are they really? I am back in my room." Nicole could guess what he was thinking, so she quickly killed that thought for him. Jared was relieved when he heard her answer. "Thank God," she explained. "Otherwise, I would really buy a plane ticket and fly over to meet her. You just hung up, so why are you video calling me again?" Nicole looked upset as she looked at him. "I probably called you on accident," Jared said, being stubborn and egotistical once again. "I see. Well then, let's end the call," Nicole responded, acting as though she was about to hang up, as she wanted to rid Jared of his obstinacy. "It's okay, since we're already here, let's just stay on the call," Jared said, and stopped acting as stubbornly as he did. "Okay then, just say what you need to say," Nicole stated, giving him another chance to admit his mistake. "Are you two alone on this trip?" Jared asked, evidently still concerned about the issue. "If I said no, would you believe me?" she asked. "Of course. Who else is there?" Jared continued asking. "He obviously doesn't believe me." Nicole looked at Jared on the screen and remained silent for quite some time, as she wanted to make him anxious.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.